This is London, nearly 2,000 years old, built on a river that has shaped every century of its history. Using real research in architecture, engineering, and climate science, here's how this city could change over the next 500 years. From the year 2100 all the way to 2500. Let's begin. By 2100, London's oldest enemy is still the river. But the river is finally losing. A new, taller generation of the Thames barrier now guards the city, built using real flood defense plans drawn up a century earlier. Flood walls along the Thames have been quietly raised, protecting millions of homes from rising seas most residents barely think about. Above the water, the skyline has grown. New super talls rise beside the Shard, many wrapped in their own vertical farms. Down on the streets, black cabs and buses are still there, just driverless now, gliding through junctions with almost no delay. The underground has changed the most. Fully automated trains, no more signal delays, platforms censored to stop overcrowding before it happens. Tower Bridge still opens for tall ships, preserved exactly as it always was, a deliberate anchor to London's past. Piccadilly Circus has lost its paper billboards. In their place, building surfaces shift and glow with their own soft light. Hyde Park has grown, swallowing a few surrounding streets, now filled with picnics, cyclists, and street performers on a Sunday afternoon. Canary Wharf's towers have grown vertical gardens on every terrace, turning the old financial district into something closer to a greenhouse. Housing, once a citywide crisis, has eased. Smarter vertical construction fits more homes into the same historic footprint. Routine jobs have mostly gone to automation. In their place, biotechnology, clean energy, and design, hiring faster than they ever have. Along the South Bank, families and tourists walk past street musicians, the air noticeably cleaner than it was a century before. In a cafe near St. Paul's, a small group laughs over coffee. Some things about London life never needed reinventing. London in 2100 isn't a different city. It's this one, finally catching up to its own 500-year-old ambition. And the river that once threatened to flood it now quietly powers part of it through tidal turbines beneath the barrier. A century later, London has grown in a direction no one expected. Upward, inward, and finally, outward over the Thames itself. Near the old financial district, the first true arcology has appeared. A single tower functioning as an entire neighborhood. Inside it, homes, schools, clinics, and parks for tens of thousands of people, recycling its own water and power. Above the Thames, flying taxis cross in steady, silent lanes, passing Tower Bridge the way boats once did below it. Small delivery drones dart between towers, dropping parcels on rooftop pads instead of vans idling in narrow city streets. Ground traffic has thinned dramatically. Old arterial roads have been narrowed, the extra space handed back to walkers and trees. Piccadilly Circus's shifting surfaces now respond to the crowd below, turning warm and golden as the evening rush arrives. Building facades across the city can change their entire appearance on command. Glass and steel 1 hour, stone columns the next. Public safety has quietly transformed. Small AI-guided sensors spot problems in seconds, the same pattern recognition already used in hospitals today. The royal parks have tripled in size, one continuous green network now stretching from Kensington almost to the river. In Hyde Park, families picnic the same way Londoners always have. Blankets, dogs, and the occasional argument over cricket rules. The economy runs on ideas as much as industry. With physical labor automated, more Londoners spend their time creating and researching. The underground still runs, but it's joined now by high-speed maglev lines threading beneath the river to the new districts. Crime, already falling for 2 centuries, has become a genuine rarity, something people read about rather than fear. The Thames itself is visibly cleaner, its banks lined with new wetland gardens instead of concrete embankments. By 2020, London has stopped fighting its own density. It has finally built a city large enough to hold it comfortably. Something unexpected happens by the 24th century. London's skyline starts to shrink, not from decline, because the city no longer needs to build upward to fit everyone. A handful of massive arcology campuses, some over a mile wide, now house what used to take dozens of towers. With so much living space consolidated, huge stretches of London have been quietly returned to nature. Where ring roads once cut through neighborhoods, forest canopy now stretches for miles across the old boroughs. Deer, foxes, and otters live inside city limits now, in parkland woven directly between the new residential campuses. The Thames Barrier's final generation was completed decades earlier, a permanent, adaptive system built exactly as planned back in the 2000s. The river itself has been fully restored. Salmon and seals have returned to waters that were once written off as dead. High-speed maglev lines now carry most Londoners across the city in minutes, replacing what remained of ground traffic. Personal flying vehicles, once a luxury, are as common now as bicycles were 3 centuries earlier. Tower Bridge still stands at the center of it all, dwarfed now by forest and arcology towers, but deliberately unchanged. Markets and plazas throughout the arcologies are full, not from necessity, but because daily essentials have become genuinely abundant. With automation and clean energy solving most material needs, Londoners spend more of their time learning, building, and simply resting. Serious safety incidents are now rare enough to be studied individually, prevented by infrastructure rather than caught after the fact. Along the old South Bank, a market fills a plaza where a motorway underpass used to run. 500 years after the Great Fire, London has quietly become one of the greenest cities on Earth. By 2400, the line between city and forest has almost disappeared across London. Arcology campuses rise gently out of tree canopy, their lower levels wrapped in living greenery, upper levels catching open sunlight. From a distance, much of London now resembles a wooded valley, with elegant structures growing quietly out of it. Personal flying vehicles and small delivery drones fill the sky in numbers that would once have seemed impossible. Yet mid-air collisions are almost unheard of, coordinated by AI traffic systems refined over 300 years of steady improvement. Daily errands are handled by a mix of people and capable AI assistants, clearing away the small tasks that once ate up hours. Around the Thames Estuary, the restoration is complete. Porpoises have been spotted this far upriver for the first time in centuries. Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament still stand, carefully preserved as monuments, surrounded now by clean water and green towers. Health and longevity have advanced enormously. Londoners in 2400 routinely live active, healthy lives far longer than their ancestors did. Scarcity of energy, food, and living space has essentially been solved for most residents of the city. What people do with their time is no longer dictated by survival, but by curiosity, art, science, and exploration. Near Greenwich, a small group of friends spend an afternoon exactly the way people always have. Talking, laughing, watching the water. London in 2400 isn't unrecognizable. It's still full of people walking and living their lives, just with fewer hard problems left. The river that once threatened to drown the city now runs clean enough, in places, to swim in again. Even the old underground tunnels have found new purpose, some now growing food in the dark, humid depths below the streets. Every hard problem London once faced has been, one by one, quietly solved around the people still living their ordinary lives. 500 years after 2000, London has become something its earliest builders could barely have imagined. Most of the city is now a blend of restored wetlands, forest, and arcology campuses that generate more clean energy than they use. A few historic structures, Tower Bridge, Big Ben, still stand, deliberately preserved as monuments rising from an entirely different skyline. The old ring roads and motorways are long gone, replaced by rivers, walking paths, and open fields where children now play. Transportation is near instant and nearly silent. High-speed maglev below, personal aircraft above, congestion a concept from old history lessons. Public safety is close to a solved problem. Most residents will never personally encounter serious crime in their lifetime. The Thames Estuary is thriving. Seals, porpoises, and fish fill waters that were written off as dead centuries earlier. Tower Bridge still opens on command, now more monument than crossing, framed by glowing towers that dwarf it completely. People live longer, healthier, more creative lives, spending their time on art, discovery, and community, supported by quiet, capable technology. In a park where a motorway once ran, a family plants something new in the soil, sunlight falling through the canopy above. London in 2500 is still, unmistakably, London. The river, the history, the energy of the place, all still recognizable at its core. It has simply had 500 more years to become the best version of itself. From the Thames barrier's first floodgates to a city that no longer fears the water at all, the whole story led here. Every era on this journey started somewhere. An idea, a plan, a piece of technology being tested for the very first time. Much like the ones being built right now, in the London of 2026. 500 years is a long time, but it only ever happens one ordinary day after another. That's London, 500 years from now, built on real research into engineering, architecture, and climate science. A city that spent centuries learning to live with its river instead of fighting it. Which era would you want to live in? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for more journeys into the future. We're just getting started.